This is just another visualization for you guys to understand touch and the head. Although this is a goblet, when I'm working with someone's head, notice, see how I can move the glass around the water. I'm not, you know what I mean? So when you touch someone, there's a violent reaction that automatically happens in nature. You know, it's just a touch. But if I touch this in a way with rotation, I don't have that kind of movement. So if you're dealing with someone, let's say with autism, like I was all week, it's more like this bottle. You know, you'll see someone with ADD and going around. There's a movement quality. I like to say it feels like a wire, like a transformer, you know, and they're just sparking and going all over the place. So I can still take this same bottle, and this is where a baby is at. When I touch a baby, and so when I go like this, and I have different weight, see the difference? So that's just this kind of a touch. But with the baby, if I'm touching like this, do you see how that system just reacts? Do you see the difference? Now when I touch you or your head, I'm sure all of you now have felt this. Does this make sense how I touched you? Can you now feel this in your system? But if I touch, and again, where my hands are tight, do you see the difference? How it's just not the same quality. Or even if I go for the same quality, and notice too how quickly that water just will start reacting. But it's just me gritting my teeth. Do you see how, like, even tracking with vision, how it's gonna get like that staccato versus me just... And I'm not saying we're never gonna have a violent reaction, but the more our system knows just how to react. Now, what was interesting, and this is probably on YouTube, I said someone's probably videotaping us. We're all out to dinner. We're all starting playing with our goblets. I should be able to hold this thing now. I'm going pretty fast, but my system is so in tune for this, I don't even have to look at it. It's holding a horizon. I'm not suddenly back here. This is what you'll see with kids back when it's out of sight, where it starts having more of inappropriate actions. This, in my visualization, is CP. So see how the momentum is more on the top. So you'll see kids where they grab. So see how much more now the balance has to be here. So too, if I work with such a way and now change that center of gravity down to the base of the goblet, do you see how that item responds? And this will make more sense. I don't know if I have a flat surface, or this will do. I won't go too far with this, but. So same thing here now. If my surface can't respond properly, this goblet is now really getting top heavy. But if I change, here I get off the table. It's almost like a magic carpet. And you can just play with all of this. So when you can change the way someone can just react to movement, and you guys can all play with this. Now I can take this glass from up here. I can get pretty fast. So if you don't feel you're touching a head right, just feel it with your own water bottle. Is my touch more like this? Well, I'm getting a pretty, again, violent reaction. You know, can I go like this? Where can I go and just change it? You can, you know, play with this at home. You can play, we've got tons of goblets over there if you want, or just play with this one. So when I'm asking to touch a head and I'm feeling, does it go to the right and go to the left? This is what I'm experiencing. Now what we're gonna go into now, not only is a head lift, but if you look at the nasal cavities, right? The only vertical line we have in our system is through the nasal cavity. So what I believe, this is where balance is formatted. Sorry, now you get my pretty face. Don't get the bruise. I got clubbed by a client this week, so this is a bruise. So yeah, you want to back it out. No, the Zoom part. She doesn't know how to work the camera, guys, and you're asking her to do. Again, if you don't know how to do a movement, all the explanation in the world isn't going to make it happen. That's exactly how we touch people. To actually put your hand on top of her hand, work the kid. It's those same kind of foundations that were, but to say stand up, sit up, put your head back, if it's not in the system, it's not happening. And I worked with a parent this week, and I would say, look to the left, and it was, and I'm like, no, left. Finally I had to get cues here and there. It's just, it's funny how we work in certain ways. So we only have a vertical line. The only one that exists in the system is through the skull. If you need to see it, I have a great skeletal app on my iPad where you can do it at break. Now with the nasal cavities, you have the horizon. And then you have the 45-degree angle. So if you're looking at a carpenter's square, so I believe, and this is where, again, I've done a lot of sinus homework because of my son. I get it that if the inner ear is damaged, it's going to affect your balance, but balance is not from your inner ear. Me sitting here with this glass is not my balance. That balance needs to be in every function. However, if I have a normal mucus and nasal functioning, every time I go to look like this, my mucus, just at the carpenter's level, is going to go around my face and learn depth perception. This is what we're going to learn today. Look at my vision. If I have vision issues, see how my head doesn't roll. Look at how I have to shorten my neck to bring up to the horizon versus the head rotating and letting the eyes float in the head. So again, look at the eyes float. My eyes, my head, all of this should be able to float in space. Now I get it, you have an immature system, baby, eyes, head. Wherever their head goes, their body, and this is what it should be more like, just a reacting system versus, or worse, that the hand is their vision. You'll see complications like that. But eventually, around a 1 year of age, they should be able to separate eye function and head function, where I can do, the eyes can go one way and the head can go the other way. And that's, we're not going to get into all development. I'm sure you guys have all covered it. But I want you to start appreciating head movement and vision. But right now, we're going to go into head lifts. And you'll see me, and again, I hope this helps you better. Whoops, sorry, too much water. But to lift the head. Lift the head. You see how, I'm not saying the water is never going to shake, but this is how, see, I count her. I will count her. If I'm like this and my feet are contracted, just see, it's just, but my movements reflect in that person's movement. Now, if a person's sitting there and I'm dealing with autism, you might see me be where I have to, but I'll come in, anything to stabilize that system as much as possible, so that system's not reacting. Because I truly believe that if it knows, I'm not talking a Zen stillness, a systematic availability, and this system is available to react. Water is violent. Water can freeze and crack a sidewalk in 3 seconds. You guys don't have that here with ice, but you've mold and you have, water can be but at the same time, you can't live without it. So it's the same thing with movement. So anyway, anybody wants to play with my glass?
This principle is all over the body, right?
All over the body.
So even if it is a thigh or a rib or whatever, you're still looking at the system.
The system should react. This is where people really like to get into the fascia tissue and think it's just the fascia, but again, it's a systematic response. Now, I'm not saying if my toe doesn't hurt that I'm going to, but I'm talking just about how you touch. When you touch like that, then this system, their water, however you will react in a way that of going, oh, I'm moving, I'm gliding versus, and just to take a kid like I was showing you last week or a person and say, come on, it's an automatic natural principle in nature. It's not just my Zen energy, and if I look pretty, and if I'm like, but if I still go like this, her system's still going to have the same principles because that's just physics. So if I'm like this, and right now work on her arm, even though I'm leaned over like that water goblet, look at what her pelvis is doing. See how her knee, I mean, just instant. I have her. So
in our language, I can feel a weight shift.
Right, right. No, but for me to sit back like this and go, okay, now come over to your left knee. Okay, we're going to do it. We're counting to 15. I get so many videos, especially from this country. 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, oh. Versus, again, she's my goblet. But look at him play with himself. That's what kids do. But see, she's my goblet. I can do it this way. But look at how I move my body. Look at, does that make more sense with the visualization of the glass and how I work with the human? So.